my name is Randy Pertler. I was a teacher and coach right out of college. And then I went into educational publishing, was blessed enough to become the vice president of sales of the division of three different publishing companies. But three times in my career, my position was eliminated. So here I achieved kind of my dream job and had a great job traveling around the country. And three times from circumstances out of my control, my position was eliminated. Two divisions merged together one time. We were bought out by another company another time. And in 2008, the company laid off 300 people all at the same time. As you know, that was kind of when the economy really tanked. And the company I worked for, like I say, they eliminated 300 positions. My support staff lost their job and so forth. So the reason I want to mention that to you is if you're on this broadcast and you're wondering, is real estate for me? Should I do real estate? My advice to you is to kind of learn from my experience and other people's experiences that it's not a bad idea to have a plan B. So even if you absolutely love your job, which I did, I really loved my job. Even if that's the case, you want to be able to have a fallback position, because the higher you go up in corporate America, the further you fall if your job's eliminated. So that was a great lesson to me. And I think you could learn from that lesson that maybe you want real estate as a backup, a plan B, and maybe someday a lot of people will start out part-time and then they'll turn to real estate full-time. So that's a little bit about my experience prior to starting with this group. This is a group of investors that we're presenting it to. This training program is called Renatus. That's kind of the one thing we all have in common. We're all going through this real estate investor training program. I'm a big advocate of training and education. That probably is part of my teaching background. I always tell people this: when it comes to real estate, you're going to pay for your education and training, whether you know it or not. You're either going to go through a planned curriculum like Renatus offers, or you're going to do a deal and make some mistakes, lose some money, learn maybe one lesson, then to do another deal, learn another lesson, lose some more money, and so forth. So if you're really serious about real estate, give real estate the respect that it deserves and approach it just like you would any serious profession. You wouldn't even think of being an attorney or some another profession without getting trained in that area. So I've been blessed enough to have done over 100 deals since I've started with this group. I don't know the exact number. I always just say thank God and praise God for every one of those deals. They haven't all been easy, but I've learned something on every one of those. So that's very exciting. I've been focused more on flipping. That's not what tonight's about, but I have been focusing the last few years on fix and flip projects. I will show you just a couple pictures so you can get an idea of a fix and flip project before we really get into tonight's deal. Also, I became a real estate broker, and I'm building a national real estate brokerage with a model that I've tapped into. And so I'm very excited about that. I am promoting my YouTube channels. Like I said before, is if you want to see a broadcast of this, you can go to youtube.com/Randy Pertler. And then down at the bottom there, it does have my email address and my phone number. That is my personal cell number. I always tell people, please honor my privacy and private time, because I sleep with my phone very close to me, because my income properties or rehabs have alarm systems that are connected to my phone, and I've got to be, available 24/7 if the alarm goes off. So Sunday is my Lord's Day, so I prefer no business or phone calls on Sunday. So today, before I introduce my partner, let me get into just a little, I'll show you a couple of rehabs, and I want to introduce you to my partner on this deal, okay? So first, starting with my business, the first thing I did was come up with a mission statement. I would encourage you to do that as well. I won't read the entire mission statement to you, but I will tell you that my mission statement can be summarized in these three verses. For what will it profit a man if he gains the whole world but loses his soul? So we're always teaching honest, be ethical. Don't do anything that's illegal. Don't do anything that's shaky, right? That parallels that. But seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added to you. Again, some people are just chasing the money and not trying to help people. And then the last one, for everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. That's very true. And that speaks to us giving back to the community. You know, once you become successful in real estate, our model is to give back, volunteer to be maybe a facilitator at a study group or to become an instructor. So I really think, like I say, my mission statement and my core beliefs there very much model our real estate investor community. So here's just a couple quick shots of some flips that normally I'm talking about, my rehab projects. I'm just going to go through very quickly, just give you an idea of what I've been focusing most of my time on over the last couple years. These projects are used throughout the Chicago area. Once in a while, I do a virtual staging, removing walls, opening up, doing open floor plans, finishing attics, very common what I do with the bungalows in the city of Chicago. Here's another one. That's the same shot right there, creating, livable space. Okay, now what I'd like to do is have my business partner in this one come out. Let me stop sharing my screen for just a second. Jamelia, if you could come off mute and introduce yourself, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and then we will do a walkthrough of the property. So we're going to really save the part about, how you find properties like this and how you found this one, and also the numbers, how we evaluated. So it's going to be really great. Learn tonight is where we had to make the decision. Do we want to do a master lease or do we want to do 100% owner financing? And I'll show you the evaluation of both of those opportunities for us. So Jamelia, come on out and tell everybody a little about yourself.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Jamila, and I've been doing real estate probably like 3 years. And the current strategy, which we will be talking about, short-term rentals, I've been doing for 2 years. And I tried different real estate strategies. I tried fix and flipping with Brandy in one deal. I tried seller finance notes. I tried traditional rentals, but I found out that the best suits my personality, because I like designing and I like also like nice, beautiful things. And I think I'm good at organizing things. So I found out that short-term rental business really fits my personality. I really enjoy doing it. So right now I have like 9 short-term rentals, and most of them are 3 and 4 bedrooms, houses or apartments. And this last deal, and I started getting like so many deals like offered to me through like master lease that I understood that I need to start taking partners. So this is the last deal, like which we'll be talking today about. Like I offered Randy to do that deal together, and so this is the deal we'll be talking about, and we'll answer your questions.
Great, thank you for that introduction. And something she said that's very important, and this is what we teach. If you do have the Renatus curriculum, you know that there's a class called Understanding Your Investor ID. And that's really what she just touched on. She tried a couple different things and really trying to focus that or match that up with her investor ID. And that class is incredible. It's taught by Jay Massey. And what it really teaches you, instead of going out in real estate and just chasing the dollar, what's the strategy that I can make the most money or make it the fastest or whatever. The problem with that is if it doesn't match up with your skills and your abilities and also what you like to do, it's going to be like another job. That's not going to be a real estate investor to get another job. Just get a second job if you want another job, right? If you want a real estate investor, do something that matches up with your skills and then also preferences, what you like to do. And that's what she found. She found something now that matches those things together. And you're going to be more successful, even if it's not as profitable as someone might say another strategy could be. The fact is that when you like it, you're going to continue doing it. And during tough times, you're going to overcome those tough times. You're going to persevere. And in the long run, you're going to make more money doing that than what you would have another profitable strategy that didn't match up with your skill set or what you like to do. So that's really a good takeaway from her testimony and her background. Okay, we're going to do a quick little walkthrough of this. I'm walking the property. This is pre-recorded. This is up on my YouTube channel. And I'm going to take us through a quick little walkthrough. And this will give you an idea of the property. And then we're going to come back and talk to you a little bit more about the details We're back again. Thank God and praise God for today.
Yes, the sound is good.
Today we're in front of one of the properties that I have with a partner. This one's not one of the rehabs I did. Someone already rehabbed this building. We're doing a strategy called a master lease / short-term lease. What that means is we're doing a master lease on this entire 2-unit building. Has 3 bedrooms upstairs, 3 bedrooms downstairs. We're leasing the entire building for $4,300 a month plus utilities. We're then subleasing it out by the night, each one of the rooms, or by the month. Now, prior, we had med students in here that were leasing a room for $1,000 per month per room. So there's 6 rooms times 1,000, that's 6,000 bringing in. We have to pay out $4,300 in our lease payments plus the utilities, and the difference is the spread. You say, well, that's not a lot of money. It's not a lot of money, but we got in this house, no money down, no credit. We also are then, after we lease it out for a year or 2, we can convert that into owner financing and actually be buying this building. This building appraised for $940,000. So this is almost $1 million building that we have control of. And when we start doing the short-term renting, this is going to actually bring in more than $6,000 a month. So anyway, we're going to go in, take a look at the house. I hope you enjoy it. Okay, so this is the top level. This has 3 bedrooms up there. You can see nice all open kitchen. All of this is redone, right? This is quartz countertops, brand new cabinets, backsplash. They didn't put cabinets above because they don't have to. This is a short-term rental, so they should have plenty of space in the lower cabinets to be able to put that, so it's saving money. Beautiful hardwood floors down at the bottom here. You can see the beautiful hardwood floors. Everything's redone. This was a gut rehab, and that's why it probably appraised at almost $1 million. So again, there's 3 bedrooms up here. So each person, when they come in, they'll have a key to get in the front. They can come in here. This is the front closet for all their coats. And then let's walk down the hallway here. You can see the 3 bedrooms. There's one here. We won't go into that one. There's one here. And you can see in here, it's very small but efficient. Like I said, we had med students that were staying here. They were hardly here at all because they were working all the time. This folds down, so they've got a couch, but yet it folds it down to the bed, folds up to the couch. Same thing, they got a little desk here for their computer to do their work. This also folds down and to the wall, so it takes care of that. Very efficient for their clothes here. If they want a flat screen, they can get a flat screen, and we can install it there for them. Now this has 3 bedrooms, it has 2 bathrooms. So the bathroom, when you walk in, the light turns on automatically. When you walk in, very efficient. Clean this every time a new renter comes in. By the way, the city of Chicago, they tax us on it because they're losing revenue from hotels because they're staying here. Well, we have to pay them a tax every time someone stays here. But you can see this is really cool. This is a LED light mirror. And then we've got these lights coming on when someone just walks in. So you've got that one bathroom there. This is another bedroom. We've got a bathroom here. Basically the same layout, back to back. Very efficient. Again, have someone come in and clean every time someone moves out. So these rooms right now in the low end, they'll rent for $49 a night. If you think, well, that's not very much, that's very cheap, cheaper than any hotel you're going to get in Chicago. So think about it, $49 a night. So it's almost $50 times 30 days in a month. So it adds up. That's $1,500. $1,500 per room. Now you're getting $4,500 on this floor, $4,500 on the first floor. That's $9,000 a month coming in. And remember what I said, our payment is $4,300 a month plus utilities. So go out this back here. It's kind of cool, this little back area. So we'll leave that door open so we don't get locked out. Nice little back deck area. The hospital is in that direction, Rush Hospital, so that's where a lot of the guests here are either med students there or work there or interns there. This is a multi-million-dollar building next to us. That's a single-family home that a doctor has built, and above the garage, he's got his own little deck area there. He knocked down a building here for the playground area. We're looking at maybe putting a hot tub down here for our guests as well. So this would be a nice little area for them to set out. So the identical floor plan to this
is downstairs as well.
We're going to go through and go a little deeper. And Jamelia, if you can come off mute and tell us how you find properties like this, how you find landlords that are willing to be open to this master lease possibility. And also a little bit, once you meet with them, talk about, you know, how you meet with them, looking at the property and what do you say to them and that type of thing.
I tried many different ways. I tried Craigslist, I tried Facebook Marketplace. So basically you're trying to find people like landlords who have listings for rent. So I would go to the Craigslist, to the for rent section. I will go to Facebook Marketplace, like Zillow, different other websites. And what I found out from my experience that the most successful my lead source was Facebook Marketplace. Because I feel like people are more personal there and they can see your Facebook profile. They can see that you're a serious person who's doing real estate. And also, like, if someone will be using that strategy, please make sure that you clean up your Facebook profile because you will be surprised how many people have like crazy pictures and crazy posts. So make sure if you like representing a business, your Facebook page is nice and have nice pictures. And yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Do you have a Facebook business page or just your personal page that you use?
I used my personal page.
Okay.
Yes. And I would send them message. All I would say that like, is it available? I would just send message, is it available? And as soon as they will tell me, yes, it's available, I would say, okay, great. When can I come and see? That's it. I don't say anything in the message that I will be doing short-term rentals or it will be like Airbnb, nothing. Your goal just to make appointment. So then when you get the appointment, you will just go, because I tried different ways. I tried like maybe first explaining to them like through messaging system, oh, I will be doing short-term rentals. It will be renting out through my corporation. It doesn't work, believe me. I tried so many different ways. So the easiest, the best way which works is you just send message saying, hi, is it available? They will say, yes, it's available. And say like, when can I come and see it? Or can I come see it tomorrow or after tomorrow? Set up appointment and go. Then when you go, you basically go around the apartment because there's different criteria. Because not every apartment will be good for short-term rental. Like, for example, like you need to see where is the bedrooms located. So because in most cases, you don't want bedrooms have sharing wall. So if they are like the bedrooms in different sides of the apartments, it's ideal for short-term rental because people don't want to hear each other. Like if someone watching TV or something. So the other, if you like it, and you need to understand like who is your market, who do you want to serve? And if you like serving like more high-end people, business owners, you want like nice kitchen, nice repairs, like it needs to clean, looks really nice, close. Like for example, if you serving traveling nurses, it needs to be close to the hospital. So after you like look at the apartment, then you tell the landlord and saying like, I'm interested in renting out your apartment, but it will be my corporation, which will be on the lease. And then they will ask you like, why it will be your corporation. And this when you will say like, actually like what I do is I rent out apartments like that. And like never say that I have Airbnb business because Airbnb business has like really bad reputation that parties and that they will charge the property. All you need to do that you do either corporate housing or short-term rentals. And then you just tell who you're serving. Like, for example, you say, here, you know that there's like close by Rush Hospital. So this is who like stay usually in my apartments, that traveling nurses or people who come for medical procedures and they need place somewhere to recover after the medical procedure. And sometimes they're traveling with the family. So they need 2-3 bedroom apartment where the person who's recovering will be in one bedroom. The people who are traveling, the family will be in the second bedroom. And when you explain them like that who you're serving, like, or you say like, maybe some people come for opening new locations for business and they need to stay here for 2-3 weeks. And sometimes they come with families. When you talk like that and explaining who you're serving, the landlords are really open to that. And in reality, you will, in the beginning, you will get a lot of no's. Just be ready for that. But right now, if I would talk like maybe to 5 landlords, I guarantee like 3 or 4 will tell me yes, because I already know exactly what to say and how to say. But in the beginning, you will be just a learning experience. But in reality, you will need only maybe 1, 2 landlords, because right now I actually like don't have enough time and like money to take up, because so many more people right now, like so many landlords are offering me so many properties that I'm not even capable to take it myself. Because once you will start working with those landlords, they understand that you're the best tenant they can have, because you keep the properties in perfect condition all the time, not because you want to, because you have to. The property has to be look exactly like on pictures, always super clean. Everything needs to look like really nice. So they know that you will be keeping the property in the best shape. And I know that you will be paying on time, because it's your business. Like you wouldn't be risking like losing this property for not paying. And they know that you're getting income, so you will have money to pay. This is like 2 biggest concerns of the landlords, that you will trash their property and that you wouldn't pay. And you solving those 2 problems for them, that property will be always in perfect condition and you will be paying because it's your business. You run business, you're getting the income from that, so you have money to pay for it. So.
Yeah, those are a lot of great points. And you, as you alluded to, and going a little deeper, think about it. Every time a tenant moves out, even if just for a couple of days, you're having a cleaning, you're cleaning back up. I mean, believe me, I have rental properties. They don't clean up every couple of days, okay? Yeah. Where you do, or have somebody else do that for us. So that is great. And talk about the different ways that we can rent out this building.
Yes, the beauty of this building, that building has 2 units. On each floor, it's 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom. So we basically covering 3 strategies, short-term rental strategies. First, we can rent out by rooms. Second, we can rent out 1 floor at a time, like 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. And then upstairs 3 bedroom, 2 bathrooms. But what we also can do is rent out the whole building. So basically 6 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms. And if you, I was analyzing like different listings on Airbnb, and if you will look, only 5% of the properties on the market are capable of having like 15 plus people. So basically we're capturing all 3 markets. We're capturing people who travel just by themselves, like 1 person who wants to rent out the room, or families who wants to stay together in 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, or like big groups, like, because I have like 3 other similar locations when it's 2 units buildings. And in summertime, like I had people like who came like for different events, like I had like some big church group who rented out the whole building. They had like 17 people. Then I had someone who were just preparing for wedding and they wanted to be all together, or someone who even had the bachelor party, but they were really respectful and they were like really, they left property really clean. And actually right now there's even bigger market for that, because people still want to celebrate some things, but they can't, like everything is closed. So I've been getting so many requests like, oh, I have my 3-year-old and I want to have like just family gathering with all the relatives to celebrate her birthday, but our house is too small. Can we just use your property? And they've been like really respectful. Like everybody will come at 2-3 p.m. By 6 p.m. they're done. And for those, actually on those parties, you can make really good money, because we are charging per person $15 per person, even if they don't stay overnight, because they're using your property. There may be more cleaning and they're happy to pay. They pay like good money for events like that. So there's like different markets we can use for this type of properties.
Yeah, that's great. And then just a couple things you mentioned there. First of all, remember at the beginning when she was talking about different strategies of where she was getting her best luck, I believe, and I've heard this before, that, smart people learn from their own mistakes, but brilliant people learn from other people's mistakes. And that's what's great about us and the community and the instructors you want to try to minimize the mistakes that you have to go through by the experience, learning from the experience of other people. That's really important. And then going back to what you talked about just trying to get in to see the property, not explain over the phone about a master lease or about short-term rental. And think about it, what she's doing is she is establishing a relationship with the person. It's easy to say, oh, I'm not interested over the phone, because she doesn't know you. She doesn't know Jamelia. So when she can build a rapport, when she can meet with them, they go, wow, this person's professional. She's on time. Number one, always be on time. I judge my tenants that way every time I have an appointment to show. So they're on time, they're professional, they're articulate. That makes a world of difference. And then it's stressing those things that you're going to be the best tenant they ever had because of what she mentioned about cleaning all the time, having to rent. And you may even think about, if it got down to, well, I'm not sure about the rent, think about it. You could even pay a month in advance. You could be a month ahead if that, if you needed to offer that. And believe me, not many tenants would ever do that. So that's really great. And I am going to talk about master lease versus sublease, but before we go there, master lease, sublease versus owner financing, and how we evaluated it and why we made that decision. But before I do that, let's go ahead and take some questions. Do you have any questions about what we talked about so far? We're going to run through the numbers. I'm going to show the numbers, the rent, utilities, and all that kind of thing. But before we go there, any questions about what has been covered so far?
Hey, Randy?
You may have some questions. Oh, go ahead. Somebody's off.
Yeah, so question about how you guys actually set it up on, are you on the listing sites, are you listing it on Airbnb specifically, VRBO, the other sites? And then how do you actually sync it up to where, are you doing all three of those strategies that you talked about where you rent out room by room versus floor versus the whole unit? How do you make sure that they all sync up so you're not getting like 18 bookings all at once?
Great
Good
question. Yep. Go ahead.
Yeah.
I'll let you tackle that. That's your end of the deal.
Yeah, there are several ways you can do that. First, it's really technical, but I'm just telling you, like, yes, there's a way to sync the calendars. There's software which does that, syncs all the calendars between Airbnb, Booking.com, and VRBO. And then you can also do it manually through Airbnb. And then in Airbnb, you can create listings separately for rooms, separately for whole building. And then you sync between them between each other. So whenever, like, for example, room will get booked, automatically the calendar for the whole apartment will get booked too. So there's a way to sync all those calendars.
That's great.
Okay, awesome. Do you have like a protocol for, like, let's say you get, I don't know, somebody wants to have their wedding, right? And they have 15 people that they want to have in the building. Is there some sort of protocol or checks and balances to where if someone wants to rent out one room and you have this opportunity to rent out like the whole building, that it supersedes it or overrides it?
So we prioritize that we doing the strategy for renting out by rooms for winter months, because the winter months are the slowest. So we, to protect our income for like starting November, so November, December, January, February to March till about April, we do rent out by rooms and month to month basis. So starting April, I usually close all the listings by rooms and open up by whole apartments and the whole units. And I prioritize that.
Yeah, that's a great question. And is there a way then when you advertise the room saying that something to the effect of if it's not available, reach out to us and about opportunities to schedule entire unit. And then that way you could perhaps maybe contact the person that rented it by the room and say, I've got an opportunity. Is there any, can I find you another room? And what's nice is since Jamelia now has multiple properties, we might be able to say, oh, if you get down to this location, we'll give you half price, and it's a comparable unit. So, having multiple units in the area would give you more flexibility to do that, but you would have to let them know, because you don't want them to say, oh, it's booked, there's no opportunity. If you'd like to book the whole room or building, reach out, contact us to see if we can make that happen. So that's
Yeah.
and that's a good strategy, what you're saying in terms of the timing throughout the year. A lot of people are concerned about, short-term rental. Obviously, it took a bit of a hit during COVID, but I think logically, if you look at it, once the dust settled and there's, people are getting vaccinated out there, people will still be a little cautious, I believe, in travel and a little smarter. Think about it. What is safer for you and your family, to book and stay at a hotel that may have hundreds of people coming in and out of a lobby and common areas? Or would you feel a little safer to have your own 3-bedroom apartment for the week? So I think that when the middle ground, when people start traveling again, I actually think that the short-term rental business will spike faster, increase faster and spike higher than what it ever did before, because it really is going to become a safety. Even if COVID goes away, they're thinking, well, what's the next thing I'm not, knowing about, right? I'm going to travel. I need to travel, but hey, let's have the family have our own area that we can secure and make sure that it's safe. So that's just we'll see what holds in the future, but I think there's a certain logic to that.
And actually, it, like, I would say 2 weeks, for the past 2 weeks, I'm seeing like change in the reservations, because in the past like 5-6 months, most people will book last minute bookings. Like we will have like maybe 3 days in advance, they will book even like 3 bedrooms, 2-bathroom house, which usually people book like 2-3 months in advance. Like in the past year, it was like almost like last minute booking or a week in advance. What happened 2 weeks ago, I started getting bookings. Like I got bookings for April, May, June, July, even for November already for this year. So I think like people starting like booking more in advance already. I'm seeing it because I don't know, because if the vaccines, or I don't know what happened in the market, but I'm already seeing big change, that people are more comfortable now booking in advance, and like we're getting more advanced and more expensive bookings already.
Yeah, and that's great to hear. All right, questions before we go to analyzing this as a master lease versus owner financing.
Hey, Randy and Jamila, what's some must-have things you put in your Airbnbs? Some must-have things.
That's who do you want to serve? That question you have to ask. If you're serving business travelers, you have to have desk. You have to have laptop area where they have to work. If you're serving families, you have to have, for example, high chair. It has to have bus stop. It has to have pack and play. So all comes from who do you want to serve. If you're serving, like, for example, handicapped people, you have to have like access, availability. Like the question you need to ask who you're serving and answer that question. This is the things you like will be absolutely must have.
Yeah, that's great. Great answer. Okay, I'll put up the spreadsheet and we could still go ahead if there's another question.
Yes, Randy, I had just a quick question. This is Spase.
Yeah.
How do you analyze whether there is enough demand for getting into the master lease or the Airbnb business? Because you don't want to have, of course, properties that are sitting vacant.
Good question. So how I do, like the first thing what I will do, I will just go on the map and see how many hotels in the area, because those hotels spend thousands of dollars in analyzing where they should put their hotel. And if you will see a lot of hotels in the areas, it's already telling you there is a demand. Second, right now, short-term rentals is like still so new that no matter where you will go, you will still find your market. If like in some areas where I had like short-term rental, like for example in Midlothian, it's like suburb in Southwest Chicago. Like who would go there? Like it's just suburb. Like there's nothing almost. I'm 100% booked all the time. Like it's like, And people, they tell me like, oh, there's like funeral house and they come a lot for the funerals. There's also some convention center. People come for those conventions. Some people come just to visit their relatives, and they just simply don't like the hotels in the area. And I'm like even sometimes people asking me like, can you tell maybe you have another location? Because I would say like, if you're good at what you're doing, if you're setting up the right way, you will find your customers. Because I even analyzed my listing, and my prices are 40% higher than my competitors in the area. And when I'm looking at their occupancy rate in average like 40-60%, and mine is almost 100. So I'm like 40% more expensive, and I'm still having like twice of the occupancy rate, because it's the way you like set up the unit, the way you know what things to put in that house or apartment to attract your customers, and they will pay for that. So don't be afraid of competitors.
Yeah, and the other thing too to consider, and this is where I was really kind of floored when I first started learning about the short-term rental business, is that we think about, well, it's got to be around an attraction, but think about it, people that visit mom right down the block. Where would they want to stay? They want to stay in a hotel that's 5 or 6 miles away, or would they like to be right on the same street? They're visiting for holidays, they're visiting for birthday, they're visiting for anniversary, they're visiting for whatever. We always think, well, it's got to be something attraction, but a lot of people visit. I visit my mother, pre-COVID, often, tried to do it often. She lives in Michigan. I'm staying, at her house. If I had an Airbnb like right in that neighborhood, and people say, why would you ever put an Airbnb there? I'd be one of the customers. Every time I'd be in the town, I would be staying there. Right away. The other thing is, I believe it's AirDNA.
AirDNA.
What is it?
AirDNA.co. But be careful with that website. Their data is not very accurate. You need to know how to read their data.
Yeah, but that's another data source, right?
Yeah.
Look at carefully and know. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
Go through this really quick, because this is another part that you'd have to consider. And this is a great scenario, right? That we had the opportunity to either do a master lease or do owner financing. So I want to run some numbers. This will kind of help, even evaluate whether or not we were going to do the deal and what the numbers look like. And I tend to be conservative with my numbers, and that will help you as well. If you're conservative, I would encourage that. So let's go through this really quick. So the property, remember, appraised at $940,000, but we could have bought the property with 100% owner financing at $850,000. So we could have instant equity there of $90,000 if we decided to buy it. Now, a lot of people say, why don't you do that? Just jump into that, right? That's a no-brainer. You should definitely do 100% owner financing. Well, let's look at this and evaluate it a little further. So it was a 4.5% interest rate, and we just have that our total mortgage broken down into two areas. One was because it was covering their initial note, and this would have been done as a contract for deed. So we would not hold the deed. It would be assigned to us, or we could have it maybe held in escrow, but we would not actually have a recorded deed until the contract was fulfilled. So if you add up the two payments, that the $875 and the $275, add both together, that would be $1,150. So basically that would be our mortgage payment, right? Well, what else will we have to do? Well, if we're buying the property, we're going to have property tax, and this property tax could go up a bit. I think we put a little increase on there, but that's always the wild card, right? If your property taxes go up, that's going to bite into your profit. Now, they claim that they're getting insurance for a ridiculously low amount, and said that we could use their same insurance company. I believe they said they're getting insurance for it was ridiculous, like $100 a month, which is unheard of on an investment property. So I doubled that for just the sake of this example. I doubled the insurance that he's saying that they're paying. And then utilities, they had a very low number, and I increase the utilities, but the utilities are both sides of the equation. So that doesn't really matter either way. Utilities is going to pay whether we're on a master lease or if we're on 100% owner financing. So if you look at our monthly payment to own the property, it would be about $6,100. Well, the rent, when we were negotiating this, they had, remember I said they had 6 tenants in there on a monthly basis, med students working at the hospital. They were paying $1,000 a month per room. So that's $6,000 coming in. So it would have been a negative cash flow to buy the property would be a negative cash flow for $100 a month. Now that's not a lot, you know, to gain that kind of, remember, $90,000 in equity, but it would be a monthly burden, right? It's not making money, we're paying out money. Well, instead of just going the per month per, you know, med student, let's say if we were to run it at $59 a night, and let's say it's for 23 nights, because, you know, oh, there's 30 nights in a month, but you're not going to have it rented out every single night very often. So let's say 23 nights, even at that low $59 per night. But remember, Chicago pays, I believe these are the correct percentages. There's percentages that you have to pay for Chicago, and I believe they add up together to about 10.5%, which makes sense because they're losing money from their hotel revenue and taxes. So if you add that up and then, you know, maintenance and cleaning, we put that on there. I forget what percent I used. Basically, we're looking at a little over $1,000 per room per month, even if we're doing it on a nightly rental basis. And then multiply that by the 6 rooms. The monthly cash flow would be $250 a month. So it would be positive. So if you're looking at this, well, if we do a 100% financing, our monthly cash flow is going to be somewhere between negative 100 and positive, let's say 250. So if you do that on an annual basis, we're at $3,000 a year. And then what was our total investment? Well, I put $8,000. That could be a little lower depending on how you want to calculate that. We really only paid $3,000 for the furniture. That was a one-time fee. Put another $1,000 on there or so, another $400. Just we did a couple of little electrical things, but then we had to come up with the first month payment before we actually generated the income. And probably I wouldn't have to do that because if you know, mostly when normally when you're doing a mortgage, your payment is actually, if you close on the first, your first payment's not due until the end. But with this owner financing, they would have wanted a payment right away at the beginning of the month. So if we did that, I'd put in an extra, you know, $4,500 or so into that to cover that payment and to make us whole. So if you look at 8,000 going in, and with kind of best case scenario, having it rented out for 23 days a week, it's only when I say only, it's a 38% return on investment, cash on cash. And the reason I say cash on cash is there's some other benefits that's not cash. So when you look at real estate, not only are you getting the rent, but in this case, we'd also be paying down the debt. And the annual debt pay down, even in the first couple years, is going to be $13,800. And what that means is that when these rents are coming in, we're paying that mortgage payment, the owner finance payment, and that's reducing the amount that we owe at a clip of $13,800 the first year. Now, if we use velocity banking, and that's another, you know, training in itself, but if we use that, that obviously could accelerate more. But let's just use 13,000. Well, now when we add in the debt pay down plus the cash, we're at 210% ROI. And that does not include depreciation, because as if we own the building, we can depreciate the building. So that's a tax savings. And if the building goes up in price, we can also add the appreciation. So that's how I evaluated the building as far as it being on a 100% owner finance. Now the risk is, what if we are on the low end of the rents coming in? We have to come up with cash every month, which I don't like to do. I like to take away the risk. The other thing in evaluating this before I go to the master lease side is Jamelia and I have to talk to each other and be on the same page. And this is in the classes as well by Jay Massey. What are you more interested in affecting? Do you want to affect your balance sheet or your income statement? What is the priority now? Well, a balance sheet means your net worth. It means your assets minus liability. That is then going to be your net worth. Well, we're not as worried at this point about our net worth as we are about cash flow and about minimizing risks. So even as 100% owner financing, this could be a good deal right from the start. But we want to have a rental history. We want to look at this project and we want to be able to see how much is really bringing in for the first year. So we wanted to look at the other side would be a master lease, which is a wonderful opportunity. And this is what Jay Massey does and teaches and has properties in multiple states using this strategy. So here was our master lease option for us. We could master lease it, as I said in the video, of $4,300 a month. Now, we don't have property tax then. That is on the homeowner, the building owner. See how that minimizes risk? Because if property taxes go up, that's not on us, right? Now, the next year, he could say, well, the lease has to come up a little bit. So indirectly, I guess we could get a little bump. But this first year, we don't have to worry about that. That's locked in. No property tax. We don't have to pay that. Insurance, we don't have to pay that. If he's getting a great deal on insurance for $100 a month, God bless him, keep doing that because we don't have to pay it. That's on him. Utilities obviously is the same, no matter which side of the equation you go on. So the monthly utilities at $800, we have that in there. So our monthly expenses would be $5,100. If we were to repeat the tenants and that they were med students paying $1,000 a month, and he had them like on 6-month leases, so that was guaranteed income coming in. If you look at that, the cash flow is $900 a month. Compared to, remember on the other side, we're talking about a negative cash flow of $100. So that's an $800 swing. Now, there's obviously we're not getting the appreciation possibility, and we're not paying the debt down and getting the debt pay down advantage. But let's look at that on the monthly or the nightly rental. If we're doing the rooms by the night, we do that same equation over as we did on the other side, bring the numbers down the same. Now it's $1,058 per room that we're getting, right? Multiply that by 6 rooms. So it's a little bit more money. Our cash flow is now $1,250, $1,250 a month. And our annual cash flow is $15,000. Now I think this is pretty conservative because $58 a night room is very inexpensive, plus only 48 or 23 nights out of the month is pretty conservative as well. So this can be much higher. I think when I told Bob, I said, yeah, our cash flow could be about $20,000 a month, which could definitely work out to be that way. And I think right now we're fully booked. So if we look at this, the total investment again of $8,000 in, now the cash flow, cash on cash is 188%. I mean, who wouldn't do a deal if I said, hey, if you invest in this project, your cash on cash is going to be 188% versus the other side, which was 38%, still very good. But look at the debt pay down. We're not paying any debt down. So we're not building up the equity. We're not getting that $13,800 benefit per year in paying our debt down. So our total ROI, our total return on investment remains at 188%. Still very good, but not as good as the flip side. So in analyzing this, a risk taker, maybe somebody with a high risk tolerance, someone that wants to build up their net worth, more considerate and worried about that than somebody with their cash flow, probably would go in the other direction right away. But this is all about your investor ID. What's more important at this point to you, and what is your risk tolerance? So that's why we decided to go on the right side there column with a master lease strategy, and rather than right from the start doing it as a owner finance. I would love to have great rental history this next year and keep increasing it as, you know, COVID and everything settles down, where a year from now, we're jumping in to the 100% owner financing so we can get that instant equity, plus we can build equity, we can pay down the debt, we can get the tax benefits. Then we'd look at the flip side of the equation. So hopefully that makes sense to you. That was kind of the process and us looking at our options, because we had both options available, and every deal is going to be different. I'm not telling you that every time if you have these two options, every time a master lease is going to be better. It's not necessarily. This homeowner, this building owner, this landlord was very savvy when he structured the two sides that he was willing to do. He knew how to make it about the same in terms of what would the lease payment to be, so that it doesn't make that much difference either way to us, depending on our risk tolerance. All right, let's open it up to questions. We're almost done here. Any questions about the project, about a master lease, owner financing?
Hey, Randy.
Yes.
Hey, Jamila. I just wanted to come out and say this was awesome. What you guys have done with this property is inspiring. So thank you so much for sharing and for being here and for, you know, just being awesome with your property tour. So I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate you saying that. And, you know, Jamilia's got others. She's doing more on the short-term rental. You know, I've only dabbled in it a little bit. I know you have experience in it as well, and has had good success in those areas. I'm definitely looking to expand my portfolio, you know, with this. And that's what's great about the community. I have strengths and she has strengths. And together it's a good partnership. Just for an example, we had some, you know, electrical issues. I've got contractors. I've sent people out that we can get the stuff done for a good price. She's got this down, you know, nobody asked, but as far as the security goes, so she's got it already set up that everything's like on her phone, you know, she can let people in. They got a code. It's all there. She doesn't have to meet people at the property. She gives them the code, boom, they're in. When
I know, it's so
boom,
cool.
the code changes.
Yeah, I started my first short-term rental in 2017. I'm actually doing another one right now. And I happen to have a connection for mattresses. And so I just picked up a $3,400 mattress for $700. And I've gotten reviews on my Airbnb for how awesome our mattresses are. So I probably could have gotten cheaper mattresses, but if I can get last year's model or something that's a closeout or something that was a floor model, that is one of the best mattresses that you can buy, especially in a home that is a little bit higher end, you charge a little more for. That's been my, you know, one of my techniques. And so just today I bought a queen size mattress at retail price was $3,400. We got it for $700.
Wow.
So anyway, just
nice.
a little tip.
Yeah, that's great. As I say down to the bottom, show me some love, subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm trying to build my audience there, and click on the little bell alert icon. That way you'll get a notification every time I post a new video. So are there any final questions? Jamelia, anything to add in closing?
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay, great job tonight, by the way. Nice job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, all right, everybody. That's it for, I hope to see everybody on the training tomorrow. You guys have a blessed day, all right? Take care. Bye-bye.